Okay, welcome. Previously, I had made a video about the Swiss Micro's DM42 and its comparison to the HP35S, and it's a good calculator. However, this summer I did purchase a DM32, and for those who recall in the old days, in the 80s and 90s, the HP32S2, it is very similar to that old calculator, and it has a good feel just like the DM32 did. So it's got a good feel, and it appears to me that all the buttons on the HP32S2 correlate, and the DM42 did not have the percent change. So if I do 20, enter, 30% change, it's a 50% increase from 20 to 30. So there's a lot of the conversions between kilograms and pounds, centimeters and inches, change degrees and radians. Just a good calculator, and I will be showing some more stuff momentarily. Okay, welcome back. This is I had to go get a picture of an HP32S2 to compare to the DM32, and I have several regrets in my life, and one of them, maybe one of the more significant ones, I used to have an HP32S2 and it went away. I'm like, oh man, I moved a lot, and I would not have knowingly, willingly got rid of that. It may have broken or I lost it, which is sad. So I wish I had a live one to show you, but this DM32 brought back nostalgia. So I was just going to show you the comparison of the HP32. It looks to me like all the buttons are exactly in the same place, and I guess that's why the Swiss Micros people decided to do this, to bring back the old HP32S2 and called it the DM32. So let me show you a couple of features about this. First of all, this calculator, if for those who remember it, only had one number and you couldn't see what was in the stack. Here you can see several numbers in the stack. So 25, enter 2 times, you have the 50, and let me enter it back in there. So now I've got two numbers in the stack and I can divide and get one. So that's kind of interesting. There's degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. For Kelvin at 273, so it's not a special button. Kilograms and pounds, centimeters and inches. And if you teach science or math stuff, you might know 1609 meters is a mile, 1760 yards is a mile. There's a lot of 5280 feet. There's a lot of different conversions. But I wanted to show these were the same ones. So I just thought, well, let me go do 1 liter and I'll convert to gallons. It's about a quarter. So a liter is about a quart, roughly. So I can inverse that, and then 3.79 liters per gallon. So I'll clear that. And then there's all the other sine, cosine, tangent, the arc sine, arc, cosine, arc, tangent, the percent change, which I showed earlier. Of course, the pi button's useful. It's very common there. I'm not expert on all these buttons, but the square root and squared, the y to the x and x root, 1 over x, very common, the factorial, the log, ln, 10 to the x, e to the x. I think on other calculators, the ln and e to the x are inverses, and log and 10 to the x are inverses. So this is the inverse key here. I don't quite remember that from a few years ago. So anyway, let's say you have a number like $12,000.59. Well, of course, if you have it in scientific to show 3 sig figs, psi 2, it'll show 1.20 E4. But sometimes in the math, in the money problems, you need to show the exact decimals. So the blue show will show it temporarily. So you can copy that down for the money numerical problems that are not 3 sig figs. So we talked about the keys are the same, some of these functions, and the show. We talked about the percent change. Let me do that again. 20, enter, 25% change. That's a 25% increase. So this is a quick show of the DM32. I purchased this over the summer of 2023, and now school's about to start. This is for us. It's the 4th of August. So when I'm making this video, and I will send this out to several people. I think Josh in Katy Seven Lakes. I think I talked to him a couple of times, and there's some other people around the state, Brad and Keith, and a whole lot of other people. And that's the DM32. So I was feeling nostalgic, and I just thought I'd go out. And in '92, I graduated high school, went to college, and I started out an engineering major. So this was the calculator that we bought. It was from a place called Service Merchandise, and the HP 48. I just balanced my checkbook recently, so there's the numbers in there. Too few arguments, so 25 enter 5 times. I'm actually showing all the numbers here, but I remember when we played the games, there's an infrared port where I never got them because this was the beginning, in '93 was the beginning of NCSA Mosaic, and I wasn't really a web expert back then. I just kind of saw it shortly, and then Netscape came along, and I started getting into it more. But at that point, there were some people, I think they probably did Telnet, and they went online on a black screen, like a DOS screen, command prompt, and they would communicate versus Telnet, and they would download programs. And I saw some kids in college, and they had like Space Invaders, Pac-Man on the HP 48SX, and then the 48GX was the next one that was kind of more color, and it was like a green instead of a brown calculator. But I was just kind of reliving my youth, and that's the HP 48. But this video was on the DM32, and very soon I'm going to talk to my purchasing people, the technology guy, and hopefully we can get some of these in our school. So that's a quick overview of the DM32. Thanks.